Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. I am your space science podcast host from the East Coast, Alex Giafanos. Welcome again to another episode of Today in Space. We are celebrating the success of the Inspiration4 mission. Excuse me while I move around the mic. They're back to Earth, 3 days in orbit, utilizing the Crew Dragon spacecraft, the spacecraft that is allowing America to send our own NASA astronauts into space, now being used for private use. You know, it really is amazing to think we've gone in a matter of a decade between space being really only accessible by NASA astronauts and professional astronauts from around the world on the International Space Station, to now a spacecraft that is opening up space to everybody. And this mission, this Inspiration4 mission with Jared Isaacman, Dr. Cyan Proctor, Haley Arsenault, and Chris Sembrowski, these are non-professional astronauts. These are just people. I mean, yes, they're obviously now incredible individuals, and you know, this opens up. We talked about this on the podcast, and it may seem like I'm just repeating myself here, but it really is. Before it was a hope, before it was like, this would be awesome if a mission like Dear Moon or Inspiration4 opens up space to the rest of us. This was the first time it actually felt real. And you know, this week's episode, we're going to have the audio where we did a launch hangout over on our Facebook page. It was around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday, when they came back. So we jumped on Facebook Live. I had my brother on Discord, and we were chatting. We chatted about a lot of stuff. You know, these hangouts, you know, topics can come up, and we comment on what's going on. But it was a lot of fun. It was good. It was good having my brother on, and getting him on the podcast finally for the first time. So you'll be hearing more from him, and at some point we'll go into his research that he's doing. But really, it was a good time, and it really is mind-blowing to think that we're at this point. Inspiration4 came back successfully. They were able to surpass the $200 million they were trying to raise for St. Jude's. $100 million was put down by Jared Isaacman, the commander of the mission. They had raised, I believe it was $60 million in fundraising, and then Elon donated another $50 million and put them over the top. So bunch of money was saved for research, cancer research with St. Jude's. And that's one of the magical things about this mission, right? Like the long-standing criticism that everyone always defaults to when we start going into space and making progress is, well, why are we trying to get off the planet when we've got so many problems down here on Earth? And this is the first kind of mission that addresses that problem up front. You know, it's not like a NASA mission where, you know, it's taxpayer money, and of course there's technology that gets trickled down, but at the same time, NASA as a government entity can't just be advertising, you know, all the good we're doing, because that's a little weird, especially from a government perspective. But with a private mission, it's cool that they're able to shape this to address that up front. You know, we are going to space to fundraise money to tackle the challenges here on Earth. And how is that going to fractal in our future here as the different ways that this can take place? Obviously, with money being involved and it being private, it's at the whim of the people running it. And we saw some of that balance recently, where the coverage of the mission was not the same as missions that we're used to, both SpaceX and NASA. You know, a lot of the SpaceX missions we've seen, especially human missions, have been all related to NASA in some way, right? You had DM2, which was the demonstration mission with astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley. First time they've actually sent that craft up there, and then Crew 1, Crew 2, and Crew 3 slated. You get the live feed of the entire mission. That's been grandfathered in as a part of the history for NASA and spaceflight from the early days when they first made that decision to make it all public access. A private mission like this, where potentially the rights, you know, allegedly the rights are for Netflix and Time Magazine to be able to have exclusive rights to the first release of all the high quality photos, images, video, which I'm sure we're going to see with the finale release of the Inspiration Countdown to Inspiration4 mission docuseries, which I'm definitely excited for. But it made following this a little awkward. But I am really, even given that difference, we had a great time hanging out with you guys for the launch. It really was a lot of fun, a lot of good questions, a lot of people jumping on. There was definitely the people were interested, and that's very exciting. Not being able to follow it online, I think, does, in the long term, a little more disservice to the cause. Although if this new type of space travel allows more people to get access to space, I guarantee there's going to be someone that's going to fund missions for some of the world's flat earthers to join in. Now, who do you, if that's the case, if the Inspiration4 mission put together money to help fund cancer research with St. Jude's, what would a mission to send flat earthers support on Earth as a problem? Would it be education? Would it be STEM education? I don't know. But it's all kind of funny and interesting. This is a new future. We've got a lot of different things, and to think that all of this, even America's ability to send our own astronauts into space, all happened in the span during a pandemic, right? I don't know if there's any other industry that's more prepared for those kind of restrictions than the space industry. I mean, the space industry has been, whenever you're launching something into space, you've got to make sure that there's no contamination, especially if you're going to another place where we might look for life later. You don't want to send life with you. So I think the protocols were in place. Obviously, it's not the same, but there is a lot that happened, and I'm still absorbing it, right? I'm still really trying to figure out how I feel about this. I know I was extremely emotional both for the launch and the landing. I think you guys can hear it in the recordings, but I'm very excited. I'm not surprised that there's a lot of negativity out there and that some people are trying to down this mission, but I have ignored that for the most part and done my best just to share the positivity that is this mission and all the good that's out there, because there's plenty of bad to focus on. So I am very, very happy that the Inspiration4 team came back safely, that everything went off without a hitch, and that we're going to be able to potentially go up there and take a look out of that cupola that they put up on that Dragon spacecraft, or whatever the next piece of a window that is, that we get to look out at our own planet, and never mind the rest of space and wherever else we decide to journey. There's a ton to be excited for.